Do you want to live 13 years longer? In other words, extend your life expectancy by 13 years, 17%. That's what it looks like for most people. All you got to do is this one thing, 1 hour a week. That's what the data shows.
Where did you get that number?
13 years.
Where'd you get 13 years?
So there's all these I'll tell you. So there's all these
Can we guess? Do we get to guess what this thing is?
It's 1 hour. You just do it 1 hour a week and you'll live 13 years longer. Yeah.
Resistance training.
Thank you, Doug.
Oh, that's the layup.
I would have never guessed.
I thought you were going to do something more original. I thought it was going to be something different. I thought it was going to be like sauna use or something like that.
No.
Or like hugs or something.
Yeah.
No, it's this is what's so cool about it. So there was one study in
13
particular
years,
that pointed to or a review of studies that pointed to 17% increase in longevity. So 17% in longevity, the average life expectancy for Americans, so this is both men and women, the average is 79 years. So 17% of 79 adds 13 years to your life. So of course, this number can be different from person to person. But what you find in the data, when you look at all the data, it's actually one of the greatest returns on investment for longevity is strength training. What do I mean by that? You do very little to get it. Like, what can you do for an hour a week?
Yeah.
That will add 13 years to your life.
Yeah.
I can't
think of anything else.
There's pretty much nothing else.
Don't
It'd be cool to
smoke,
see.
that's for sure.
Be cool to see this graphed out.
Yeah.
I'd like to see where it kind of tops off and then actually starts to come down the other direction.
So 1 day a week gives you the biggest in terms of percentage boost.
Yeah.
Then you get more of a boost at 2-3 days a week. It starts to flatten out. So for longevity, at least, right?
Yeah.
For longevity,
Right. We're not talking about having the baddest physique aesthetics or the most athletic performance.
Right.
But for longevity, I mean, that's why it's an interesting conversation because although many of us are motivated initially to get to the gym because of the way we look and we're insecure and all these things.
That's right.
Once we kind of solve that, you lose the weight, you're healthy, you're kind of fit. Almost everybody inevitably starts to move to the longevity. Would you say that?
I would.
Once you evolve past body image stuff,
You'd hope so.
Way overweight, you fix that, right? Well, you get that all handled. Then I would argue that the next level or evolution to your training journey is now like, okay, I'm pretty strong. I took care of that body fat doctor told me about. Now it's just longevity. Like, how long can I stay in this game?
And what we're finding in the studies is that muscle and strength is much closer connected to longevity than body fat. In fact, the body fat correlation or the obesity correlation to poor longevity metrics or high mortality might have. Now, don't get me wrong. There are issues with having excessive body fat. But a lot of it may have to do with the fact that you're not strong and that you don't have muscle. And this is what we find. Remember that study years ago where they did a scan? There used to be this belief that if you're obese, you carried more muscle.
Yeah, because you think you're carrying weight, so therefore the resistance of the weight should stimulate a muscle response.
Not true.
Not true.
Because obesity in modern world is inactivity. Whereas if you took a bunch of people who strength trained and you had a guy at 17% body fat versus a guy at 9%, the guy at 17% is going to have more muscle. But when you look at what obesity looks like in modern societies, it's connected to really low activity. And what they found in these scans were sarcopenia is really high. They have low muscle mass, worse. When it is connected to obesity. So muscle is like the longevity measure. Even better longevity measure is strength. Muscle is a good measure because it's like a proxy for strength. But really, it's strength. Strength is one of the best things that you could test to see.
Well, it's interesting if you pit them together, like the morbidly obese and then the very, fragile and like low muscle mass person too. Like a lot of the similar problems.
Yes.
Like, so sarcopenia is one. You're going to have like fragility, you got pain, arthritis. Like all of those factors are going to play, very similarly.
Totally. And then when you look at, like, to your point, Adam, like how much strength training do I need to have? I'll see if I can explain this in a way that makes sense. If you could imagine your ultimate muscle building potential, like your natural muscle building potential, meaning like perfect diet, good sleep, I'm healthy. Like, how far can I get in terms of muscle on my body naturally? You could get about 85% of the way there with 2 days a week. That's what the data shows, about 2 days a week. 3 days a week, you're getting close to 90%. Each additional day is smaller and smaller returns. 1 day a week, 1 day a week gets you close to like 70% of your potential.
Yeah.
And most people don't even want to get anywhere near their crazy potential. They just want to be strong, fit, and healthy. This is how effective strength training is at low doses, which is wild. I mean, again, healthy eating, very strongly connected to longevity. Can you eat healthy 1 hour a week and get 13 more years in your life? No. Cardio, also, cardiovascular training, connected to longevity. Can you do 1 hour a week of cardiovascular activity and add 13 years of life? No. Can you do anything 1 hour a week and add 17% longevity, like strength training? To my knowledge, we have yet to find anything that has this kind of a return on investment. So it's just wild.
So let's build this right now from where we're currently at, each of us, because we've reached a level of strength and muscle that any more of it is not serving us longevity wise. Can we agree?
Oh yeah, I'm past longevity.
Okay, so we all we all agree on that.
Mass,
okay, so from that point, if at this moment in our lives we all agreed, I'm going to put together the best minimalist routine for longevity and health right now. In my head, it looks something like this: 1 to 2 days a week of a full body routine.
Yep.
1 to 2 days of 20-minute sauna sessions. 10,000 steps a day. One of those days, I do some form of 12-minute HIIT cardio.
Oh, you're putting together the perfect.
I'm talking about the perfect longevity.
Yeah, you got it.
Right? Would you?
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, express your cardiovascular output.
Right,
Yeah.
just something.
Something.
One day a week
Yep.
expresses that,
Yep.
so I don't lose that.
Yep.
Right. Most of it is
So you move fast that way
through
too.
right
Yep.
through walking 10,000 steps.
Yeah.
Only 1 to 2 days lifting full body.
Yep.
And then 2 days of sauna.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like,
I mean, I add some mobility yoga practice in there.
Sure.
somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
sure.
you could even take the sauna out of it and you'd be fine.
Yep.
You'd be totally fine.
oh, you really, even with all the crazy benefits that have come out with sauna use.
I mean, in addition to everything else that you're doing, I don't know how much of a return it would give you on that time.
oh, you think so?
It would give you some
You
return.
don't think it? Okay.
It would give you some return, but it's inaccessibility is a challenge. Like a lot of people don't have access to a sauna.
Oh, okay.
So like if we were to rank all these
I'm
things,
selfishly thinking about myself.
I
in
know.
that.
Yeah, I was with you on that because I'd be like on the weekend, it'd be perfect,
Yeah.
right? Because you do your 2 days like during the week, and then it's like that's sort of like an exercise simulator with low intensity.
yeah, it
obviously.
is. It is.
I also think that or at least for me, because I think there's a lot more to the sauna than even what the research is pointing to for us in general people. My phone can't go in there, and I'm completely silent.
Yeah.
For 20 minutes, and so I think there's a lot of power and value to that. Not to mention, we know all the health benefits that it simulates, almost like working out to the body, and your body's having to regulate temperature, and we understand that's we understand
really good
that.
for vascular health.
Right, so we understand the physiological health already. I think every famous
Well, am I going to throw
podcast.
you under the bus by saying too you stretched in the sauna before?
Yeah, that's great, bro. I don't know why that threw me on the bus.
I don't know. You told me
I'm
that
not
like
naked
in
in the sauna when I
confidence.
do it. I wear underwear. No, stretching for people who are tight like me, you want to get more range of motion. Sauna stretching is just because it
Warms up,
the
more
heat,
pliable.
the heat dampens the CNS.
Yeah.
And you can get into ranges of motion that fast that you normally wouldn't.
Yeah,
be able to.
Yeah, I do that too.
But back to this strength training. There's more I want to add to this because when you look at life expectancy, so average in the U.S. is 79 years. Okay. And I think the average person, if they don't really deeply think about it, I think what we assume is you just live until you're 79 and then something happens. You have a heart attack, cancer kills you, something like that. But the reality is the last 10 years and definitely the last 5 years of that person's life are miserable, usually.
Yeah.
The average person that dies at that life expectancy of 79, by the time they're 75, 74, many people by the time they're 70, you see this rapid
Spiral.
decline in health, rapid decline in your ability to do things by yourself, your independence, this dramatic increase in pharmaceutical drug dependence. And it's usually not the first heart attack, it's the second or third that take you out. So it's the last, 10, but usually the last 5 years. Thanks, Doug. The last 5 years really, really.
More.
What are you looking
please.
at there, Doug? It's his first time producing. MAPS, push, pull, legs, PPL. You asked for it, you got it. By the way, there's 2 versions of this program, one for men and then one for women. The programming is different. Women have a more higher emphasis on lower body volume, glute training, shoulder volume. Men, it's more traditional. Now, because it's a brand new program, we're launching it right now, and it's 40% off. If you go to mapsppl.com, use the code PPL, you get the price slashed by 40%. Also, if you sign up within the first few days of the launch, you can attend live coaching by one of the Mind Pump coaches. They're going to do 3 days of coaching, breaking down things like nutrition, exercise, lifestyle, really to help you become more consistent and maximize your progress through the program. We also include a supplement schedule guide, which will be free with this program. Again, you can get all of that included, 40% off, mapsppl.com. The code is PPL.
All right, real quick, if you love us like we love you, why not show it by rocking one of our shirts, hats, mugs, or training gear over at mypumpstore.com. I'm talking right now. Hit pause, head on over to mypumpstore.com. That's it. Enjoy the rest of the show.
The last 5 years sucks, okay?
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah.
If you strength train, and because one of the reasons why strength training adds so much to longevity, yes, it's good for preventing diabetes. Yes, it's good for overall cardiovascular health.
Bone density.
It's good for lots of the things that we know about, that we talk about when it comes to getting older and things you got to, it's anti-cancer, building muscle, super anti-cancer. Mm-hmm. Like we know all that stuff. So that's yes. But here's the big one a lot of people don't think about. You're mobile.
Oh, yeah.
You're not fragile.
Able-bodied.
That's right. And you don't break. So when you're living an additional 13 years, you don't just live longer, you have more time even in that period of time.
More quality time.
Which is quality.
Yeah.
Because you find me a 90-year-old who's been consistently strength training for 1 hour a week, 1 hour a week consistently, and I'll show you someone that's most likely independent, and most likely not someone who just is going to fall and break something. And I know this because I train people. I had clients like this.
Oh, that was Katrina's mom's in her mid 70s, and she recently went down. I told you guys she was pushing.
She had 1 foot in the
one foot in the pond, and it knocked her down for a day. We went and saw the doctor and stuff like that. And she had this massive bruise on her hip, but he's like, I tell you what. Thank God for all your strength training and stuff like that. He goes, you probably would have broke a hip.
Average 77-year-old?
Yeah.
Someone your age normally goes down like that. I mean, she slammed herself into a brick fireplace.
Wow.
So it was like she landed on some carpet. It was she was outside near her fire pit, landed on it, and enough to bruise her really bad. But nothing broke, nothing cracked, and was back at it the next day, really moving around, doing her thing.
You know what's interesting, too, about the stat? I'd say the last 10 years of my career, I had, for people who aren't familiar, I had a studio up here in the Bay Area, small wellness studio, with personal training, correctional exercise, hormone therapy, all that stuff, right? And I had a client base that had worked with me for a long time. Like I'd say the average client was with me no less than 6 years, but I had people that were with me for 12, 13 years. Majority of my clients, and now a lot of my clients were also in what would be considered advanced age. So over 50% of my clients were over the age of 55, and a good quarter of my clients were over 65. I had a decent amount of clients that were over 65 because within that career, I started training doctors. They started sending me patients, and a lot of their patients were older. So these people would just show up, and I love training people in that age range, and it was a lot of fun. Most of my clients worked out with me once a week.
Yeah.
Most of these were they were consistent.
Yeah.
They showed up and they strength trained me once a week, and they did no additional strength training. Mm-hmm. They did nothing else for strength training. Now they tried to maintain activity outside of what we did. Most of it was walking or gardening and stuff like that. But a small percentage of my clients saw me twice a week. Most saw me once a week. And it wasn't because of money. It wasn't because they didn't have the time. These are people who had a lot of time. Many of them were affluent. Where I was located was an affluent area. It was because we got great results once a week. Everybody got great strength and felt good, and we saw great improvements. It was like, why do we got to do any more? And so I just want to communicate this to people. It's like, you don't need a lot, everybody, to get these great returns.
Well, especially when we talk about the health and longevity side of it. I think the fitness space tends to focus a lot
the extremes
on the aesthetics and the performance stuff, because that's what is sexy, that's what sells.
That's right.
But when you think, and that's why I wanted to, build the hypothetical perfect longevity program for one of us. And when you think about that, it doesn't look like, I mean, I guess the other way to do it than how I described it, instead of 1 day a week of strength training, it would be just 1 or 2 exercises every day, 5 days a week. So if you're somebody who loves to get up and to do
like a lift.
Do a lift or do some sort of resistance training, and you don't want to only do 1 day a week, then I would just divide that up over 5 days. So you have 1 or 2 things to do every single day, like the grade 8 was designed, like something like that. I mean, that's really, that's like an ultimate longevity type of program is grade 8, or, you put those exercises in 1 to 2 days and you do that with some walking and other activities.
Now, here's what you see with all exercise, including strength training, is you get this U-shaped curve of benefit when it comes to longevity, where you get a lot of benefit with some, and the more you do, the less of the benefit you get. And if you keep going and you start to reduce longevity. So like your question, I for sure am beyond longevity. I've sacrificed longevity in the pursuit of trying to build muscle. And now the problem with that, and I talk about this on the show so people know, but the issue with that is the fitness industry, especially on social media, the people who get all the attention are people like me, or at least people that obsess about it. Okay. So, and they communicate it from that. So they're showing pictures of themselves and they're super jacked. And you're getting this information from them, and what you're getting is information that is not healthy. It's now not healthy at that point. So, and I want people to know that, because sometimes when I talk about muscle and longevity, people will be like, "Yeah, what about a power lifter or a bodybuilder?" They went too far. They went way too far.
Well, at that point, your performance. You're an athlete. I mean, whether you want. I mean, I know everybody gets all up in arms when you call a bodybuilder an athlete. But
no, it's the extreme.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
did I ever tell you guys when I went to the Arnold Classic? I think it was like 15 years ago. Jack LaLanne got like a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Oh, nice.
And I want to say he was in his 80s. I think he was in his mid 80s, and he gets on stage and standing ovation, and everybody's clapping, and we wouldn't stop. Like, he was just waiting for us to stop, but everybody just kept cheering.
That's cool.
So he moves away from the podium. He gets down on the floor.
Starts doing push-ups?
1-arm push-ups.
Yeah, dude.
Literally does one.
And how old was he at that time? 80 something?
It was in his 80s.
That's so sick.
He gets down, and of course the whole place just explodes.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That guy's a great example of what can be accomplished with the right application of extra. He did extreme stuff in his youth. It's funny, I say in his youth. He set the world record in push-ups and pull-ups, I think, at 55.
Yeah. Is that what he did?
Yeah, I think it was, maybe look that up.
Wasn't his record towing a boat with his teeth, like through the
He's got a bunch of records, bro.
At 70.
Yeah.
Okay, at 70. So he's 70 years old. He pulled 10 rowboats with 7 people each in there. So 70 people.
Yeah.
He pulled it with his teeth, with his hands and feet
handcuffed or something.
Shackled.
That's what I thought, yeah.
And he went from the shore to Alcatraz.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a gangster.
Oh, 42. Sorry. At 42, he did.
Is that a picture of what he used to look like?
Yeah, dude.
I didn't know he looked like that.
Yeah, bro. And then in 1959, I knew it. So later on when he's older, but look at this, 56, in 1956, 42, 42 years old.
English Channel.
He did 1,033 push-ups, dude.
Okay.
In 23 minutes. How did you do that? Doug, look up his swimming when he was
right
70. No, that one he did in 1955. But I know when he was 70, he did some crazy one. Mm-hmm. It was either 60 or 70, but it's like insane.
Yeah, the English Channel.
No, not the English Channel.
I just want to see
Alcatraz?
that's what I heard.
It was to Alcatraz at 7 years old or something like that.
60, handcuffed. There's where he said right there.
We did it in
He's
age
handcuffed.
60.
At 60, handcuffed and shackled while towing a 1,000-pound boat. Wow. That's stupid. That doesn't make
Such a
sense.
random feat too. I bet you I can tow this boat with my hands
I
and
know,
be shackled.
Well, that's so dangerous, dude.
Yeah.
That's so wild. I see you drinking the Ketone IQ.
Oh, yeah, you got
so
me.
now you and Doug are crushing them all. So now that I can't have as many.
you got me on the kick here.
So what do you like? So what do you guys like about them? Is it what I talk about?
I like the caffeine-free
Okay.
because I'm already drinking my caffeine already. And so that I like that I can do whenever we have these days where we have lots of podcasts to do and meetings and other stuff going on. Because I shut my caffeine down as early as possible. Like, so I've been done with my caffeine for, I don't know, half hour or whatever like that. It's only 11
Because it
now.
affects your sleep.
Yeah. So if the earlier I've learned, the earlier I can get done with my caffeine, the less it affects my sleep at night. Which, by the way, yesterday I was at 90. Last night I was at 84. Still have yet to get the 99. I have back-to-back 90s is like what I'm chasing right now. But still, a 90 and then an 84 has been solid. One of those keys, I think, is the key, this coffee earlier done, which then allows me to do something like this as I get closer to noon or afternoon. And then it makes me just feel sharper.
Yeah.
When we're doing podcasts.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. It's almost like it gives me that energy for my brain, but not that CNS effect. So it doesn't affect me like
No,
caffeine.
you can drink and go to bed.
Yeah.
You can drink it right before bed. You'll be fine.
That's what's cool about it. Is that it gives me energy, makes me sharp for what we got going on.
Yeah. So I noticed you and Doug are the most consistent now with them, right? Doug, are you doing more than one a day?
No, typically one.
Okay.
Usually in the afternoon after lunch, if I'm feeling a little bit tired, I'll take one, and it seems to like give me a nice little shot.
That's
there.
that's on the same way. Right about now, between now and like 1 is when I'll probably take. But I haven't doubled up like you. You've done more.
I
than
go
one
in the
day.
morning, 1 in the afternoon, and then sometimes I'll do it again in the later afternoon. So I could do up to 3. I'll do 3, but you guys know I'm obsessive.
I was just saying, and there's nothing in here that negative effects from me having too many.
No, just ketones. There's calories in it because ketones have calories, not a ton. I don't know, it's 60 calories,
70,
something like that.
yeah,
70 calories.
Yeah, 70 calories in it.
Yeah, dude. And now, Justin, you haven't. Are you not on them or?
No, I do it as frequently as I used to do like 5-hour energy shots. Like I would.
It's not the same though.
It's not the same. It's better because it's more cognitive boost and like to Adam's point, it's not like I don't feel like jittery, as a result of that. But like to me, it's very irregular. Like I'll do it when I just feel like I need something. So.
Doug, look up ketogenic diet and brain injury because I wonder. I was talking to Justin. I said, sorry,
I know you directed this.
No, because you know what?
Shots fired.
No, it's not because of you, dude. It's because I know that there's. Okay, so check this out. Ketogenic diet is emerging as a potential therapeutic intervention for traumatic brain injury by providing an alternative energy source when the brain glucose metabolism is impaired. I wonder, so it reduces neuroinflammation, oxidative stress, and neuronal death. I wonder if you took an athlete who just had a concussion and you gave him Ketone IQ.
I'm sure.
Because you can't make him ketogenic right then and there.
No, you can't. I'm sure it'd be a good idea.
Theory.
Yeah.
That's actually
Or like before you go play a sport.
That's actually
like football
really.
or
That's
something.
actually a really interesting
Or boxing.
thought. This happens all the time in football
Totally.
where the guy gets knocked out and he's got to go off the field.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you give him something like that?
Yeah. I think it would be even smarter to do it before you play.
Well, of course.
Because it's already running. You got the energy if you don't get hit. But it's because it's going to give you energy for performance.
Yeah.
But like boxing, football, I think it would be a great, probably smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, even just anything to lower inflammation with the brain. I'm interested in that to begin with. So yeah, shame on me for not like incorporating it in a bunch. I've been trying everything else, so I'm just late to the party.
Yeah, dude. Hey, we got to talk about now. What is her position, Christy Neom?
No.
What? I'm so confused by that.
She was the director of the Department of Health of Homeland Security, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
You guys
Did you see what happened with her?
You sent it over in our group thread last night, right?
Bro, did you see what happened?
No, I'm so confused by this.
Bro, this is the most-
Our husband's extracurricular
Please enlighten
activities.
me on what it was that you sent over.
Bro, this is the most. I can't even imagine the embarrassment.
Yeah, it reminds me of what the movie Black Sheep.
Where did you send that?
So listen. So she was the DHS secretary. Okay. Her husband, all these images and stuff came out. It was leaked that her husband was she was in these chats and stuff with like in this
It's like a
fetish world.
Yeah.
where he wears big fake boobs.
He's got boobies.
Look at that picture of him, bro.
Yeah, he's got like Dolly Parton size.
Yeah, dude, and it's this weird like world, this fetish world where I guess they get off on wearing big fake, boobies and talking to each other,
like balloons or something.
Does that come up after you've been married for a long time,
so you're saying that she knew about it,
or do you disclose that in the early dating years?
Obviously, she didn't know about it. Well, what she claimed.
Oh, she claims she doesn't even know.
Yeah.
Like it
hit
came
her,
out.
totally sidelined her. I know, right?
Well, bro, listen.
He's got videos of himself.
Yeah, but he did it under a pseudonym, so under a fake name.
Okay.
And I don't know how it got leaked.
I'm sure somebody outed him.
Yeah, somebody outed him. I'm sure it was like some blackmail or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, bro, everything on the internet is out there, dude.
Dude, people are freaks anyway. Like, it's like everybody's got some weird things.
So here's the thing, dude. Imagine if you found out your husband, like that sucks. Don't they have kids?
Yeah, they got kids and all that. I mean,
like that's like another different level of devastation. It's like your husband. Wait, did he cheat on me? No, but let me show you what he did.
That's less worse.
I don't know, bro. You're like, oh.
Yeah, but are all these just dudes pretending they got big boobies? Like, I don't get the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, hey, man, look at your jugs. Look at my jugs. Like, what? Cool.
I mean, what are
How do you like to sleep with them?
What are your guesses though? Like that for somebody like that did something happen to him as a child that made him traumatized like that, or is he into pornography that's really weird and it goes down that rabbit hole to where you find weird fetish type stuff?
Yeah.
Like who wakes up and just decides they're into that thing? Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dude.
And then how do you marry someone that like has such a weird fetish like that and not know?
Well, people do a lot of things in their double life,
Yeah.
that they don't find out. I mean, I've heard about serial killer. That's the crazy part, where people find out their spouse was a serial killer.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
And they're all like on the surface, like great community person.
Oh.
And, yeah.
Look at that picture of him.
Purses his lips
making
and everything.
it's so awkward. But oh my God, John Doug, get out of there. That's enough. I don't want to see anymore, dude. Wow,
So I mean,
bro.
is she being questioned about all of it? Is it falling on her?
No, it's just embarrassing.
Did it all just come out?
Yeah.
This is all new?
Yeah, dude. I would tell you, I'll say this, Adam.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah, it's
all the
just
stuff you said, what happened or why, but there's lots of data that shows that pornography, it totally leads to more and more.
I'm sure that tipped them into a different category.
It definitely leads to more and more what we consider extreme or dysfunctional. I guess you would label it sexual desire.
Yeah.
Definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
In fact, you don't even need to look at. I mean, you don't even look at studies. You could just look at how the difference in popular pornography. They've done studies on this over the last 20 years. It's gotten more and more and more extreme. It's got classic drug-like responses where it's like you start with this drug and then you got to move to something stronger type of deal. So I wonder. Anyway.
I feel like
Terrible. Imagine finding that out.
Yeah.
Like what?
I feel like of the four of us, Doug would be most likely to have some weird things. He's so quiet and private about so many things. Like he's the most likely to have like a double life. Yeah.
Bro. What would Doug's double life? Look at Doug's face.
Yeah, you never know, do you?
I feel like one day we'll find some crazy. What?
Yeah.
Doug was doing what?
Doug would be.
Here's my closet. Oops, don't mind those titties.
Hey, what's that sport where people ride fake horses? Like,
Oh yeah.
Doug does that inside. That's why he can. That's why he's so agile.
Hobby
still.
horses or whatever. Yeah.
That's why he's so agile still. Like, damn, bro, you can jump.
Yeah.
That's how I know how to skip.
Yeah, that's it's good.
Do you practice jumping all the time? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He's a celebrity
Hey,
in that
did you
world.
guys see our April Fool's ad with Element?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see it? You know what's so funny?
Pickle Menage.
I forgot we did that.
So you thought it was real?
So there was I was like, I said to
pitching it
Doug, I
right
said,
away.
there's pink lemons? I'd never seen a pink lemon before.
Yeah, they put all the graphics.
Totally went
in
over
there.
my head that
Yeah,
we
yeah.
did that, and I forgot what today was, and I was just like, oh, that's what that is. So
Yeah.
I was like, I already see tons of people. They did a good job though. They used like Huberman, us,
Kelly Starrett
Kelly Starrett, like a lot of credible people that were like pumping it.
Dude, Element is such a hack for workout fluid intake. It's such a hack. Of course, you get the electrolytes, but you know what it does? And I'm noticing this now with people. It makes them drink more water. Because it tastes good. So you're getting the electrolytes, but you're actually drinking way more water.
More hydrated.
What a hack, dude! I wish if I was as a trainer, I would have totally used this with my clients because it would have made them drink more water. On top of the fact that you get the electrolytes.
Yeah. You know what? I think I've talked about this before. It's mandatory that I use it if I get in the hot tub or sauna.
Oh yeah, you better.
If I don't,
you get dizzy and stuff.
I get a massive post headache. Like it won't hit me while I'm in it. Yeah. While I'm in it, I'm fine, sweating, do my thing, and then as soon as I come out, like maybe a half hour, I get this throbbing, terrible headache if I forget to do Element before I go in. It's like clockwork every single time.
Yeah.
Is that like just like do different people process it and lose sodium at faster rates and like so?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I don't hear that from other people that they have as big of a problem. I know some people can relate to it and they're like, oh yeah, no, I've had that before.
Yeah.
If I'm in the sauna too long or whatever like that, where I'm like clockwork. I can be just in my jacuzzi. I don't even have to be in a crazy sauna. I can be in my jacuzzi.
Well, that's a crazy workout for me if I sweat a ton as well. I have that same response where I get a fat headache.
Yeah, there's a difference, but maybe you could look that up, Doug. What the difference is in salt, and maybe salt in people's sweat or something like that. Sodium in people's sweat. It's different from person to person.
Yeah.
So some people definitely sweat more salt out.
Yeah.
Than other people.
Which would also lead me to believe why there's people in this space too that try and shit on electrolyte supplements as like oh, the waste of money, trash, you don't do it or whatever. But I would think that there's some people that make a huge difference.
Look at this. It's a huge difference between individuals, sometimes up to tenfold.
Oh, what?
Okay, now that makes sense.
There you go.
Wow.
Confirmation.
So scroll down more, Doug. Individual differences. Some people are naturally salty sweaters, losing more.
Yeah, just walking salt lick.
I feel like you'd be a salty sweater.
I'm very salty.
Yeah, I think all of us in here kind of.
I mean, that makes sense though to me now. Why that is something that dramatically affects me consistently, to the point where like, so we have a refrigerator that we keep outside. I keep most of my elements stocked in there.
So that when you go in there.
So that when I go in the jacuzzi, I have built this routine. Come out, go straight over there, grab it, put it next to me, and then while I'm sitting in the hot tub, I drink it. Dude, and it guarantees I don't get a headache. If I don't do it, it's 90% of the time I will get a headache. And it's just, how bad is the headache?
There's so many hacks like that. I get mad because like going back to athletics and like performing in sports, like if I would have had that on hand or like hydrated ahead of time and made sure like I had adequate amounts of sodium, and then also too like mid game, like if I would have had like ice water available where I just stick my hands in the ice water and just waited, like I swear to God that I recover so quickly by doing that. Have you been
experimenting with that?
Yes, I've been doing that quite a bit, and I'm like, it trips me out because I am very much dependent on heat, like my core temperature when it's up, like the fatigue, it just boom, it hits so fast.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Like you your cold doesn't seem to phase you.
No,
but
hot really affects me. Yeah.
I'm the opposite. Like cold, I'm like a chihuahua. But you put me on the sun, and I'm just cool.
Yeah,
I'm like Justin. I'm definitely.
You get overheated.
Too. I never thought about that with your hands, but I could imagine that
Game
work.
changer.
Well, you guys remember that?
Crazy.
Remember that one study they did?
I know where they did the
well, that's what inspired it. Yeah, and I was like,
Huberman did it, didn't he? He did it with somebody.
Mm-hmm. So what do you do? So I'm assuming you're doing this because you're outside digging right now.
Yeah.
Are you just getting cold like ice buckets or something?
Yeah, just I have these bowls with ice water in it, and I'll sit there and I'm like drinking water, element tea, or whatever it is, and I'm putting my hands in these cold like bowls, and I'm just soaking them. It takes about 2 minutes or so, and I'm just like and then my whole core temperature drops,
and then you have
I just go right back at it. Yeah,
that's so. I bet that works so good.
What an easy.
I could see that working.
Hack.
So I think I could see that working.
It's
so
wild.
Good.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, it makes me mad because I wish I would have experimented more with that stuff.
Remember,
you talk about performance and so that. I don't know if I shared this with you guys or not. Stop me if I shared it on the podcast already. But there is a clear difference in my performance when I see my sleep score between 60 and 90.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like I've
Yeah,
connected,
you've said that, but for sure.
I've connected the dots now to like what a difference in the workouts.
So like a light workout has to be.
It seems so obvious, right? Because I know you're
Bro,
like,
I've got it 10% stronger. Add 10% to whatever I'm lifting.
Yeah,
which looks like 20 pounds sometimes.
It's night and day difference. I mean, the difference between like, so I got an 84 last night. The difference between an 84 to 90, not a big difference. Even like I'd say 80 to 90, not a big difference. But low 70s or in the 60s compared to a 90,
yeah,
it's like huge difference.
Last night, I didn't have the greatest sleep because my 3-year-old was in bed with us because she had a tough time going to sleep. And all night, she was so antsy and she was kicking and moving and whatever. And I know what happened. We had ice cream last night and I got gummy bears. Red dye. She had red dye. Remember I told you guys how she reacts to red dye?
That's right.
And my wife's like, did she have red dye? And I'm like, no, I took the red ones out. But I didn't take the orange ones out. The orange ones oftentimes will have red dye in them.
I mean, red dye and or sugar before bed.
But this is not sugar. There's this like distinct response she gets where she's like,
Really?
Poor kid. She's like hyperactive but tired.
We notice a huge difference in Max if we let him have like a treat like that, like after dinner. If after treat dinners always impact his sleep afterwards. No matter how good of a treat I try and make it, if he gives sugar post. Big difference. I think sugar and tech, the way it affects children,
tech is crazy. I told you guys about
insane.
I told you guys about Aurelius, right? My niece plays Fortnite, and he watched her play, and he's like, "Can I try it?" And we're like, "All right, let's put it on the living room TV." So we moved the system out, put it on, and I let him play for 15 minutes.
Oh, he's not coming back.
Listen, I gave him I did everything. Like I gave him the whole like, okay, 3 more minutes, buddy.
Yeah.
1 more minute so that they're anticipating. This is like a good way to get your kid not to freak out when you take him off something. Didn't matter. I took him off, bro. He threw a tantrum.
Yeah.
And Jessica and I looked at each other.
Powerful, man.
And we're like,
this
is just confirming why we don't have this.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
house.
It's a powerful thing.
What was the big lawsuit just went through?
Yeah, well, they showed that that they made him addicting on purpose.
Yeah, you didn't see that?
I did. I talked about it on the show.
Yeah, big. It was it Meta that got sued?
I talked about it on the show.
Yeah, Meta got sued that they were using addictive stuff to addict children.
Science, to make it addictive.
And so what'll be interesting if that is the first domino to fall, because gaming has been doing that forever.
Well, didn't he just lose 80 million because of his efforts into the metaverse and just
they shut it
canceled
down?
Yeah.
Oh, did they fully shut the metaverse down?
They just canceled it.
What a bunch of bullshit.
Smoke and mirrors, dude.
Hey, listen, since you went that direction,
yes,
I'm listening to this interview right now with a Diary of the CEO. He's got this credit the name, I don't know, but it's one of the more recent ones on AI. And she's like a big whistleblower. She's interviewed like over 300 of the biggest tech names that were with OpenAI and worked with everybody.
Right.
And she's sharing a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that I was unfamiliar with Sam Altman and Elon and all the falling out and how that all happened and stuff. But her big claim is that so much of this AI stuff is propped up in bullshit.
Like a bubble.
Well, no, and not only that, but sold to us that it's way more effective and better than what it really is.
How so?
Like
How so?
So when you, like, for example, because we're all guilty of like, bro, check out this thing. It's like a company that whatever they're developing has to decide a very narrow scope to build a thing that's so incredibly good, but it's all off of human inputs and data and stuff that it has to perform.
Whatever currently exists.
Yes, what already currently exists in a very narrow scope. It's really good at this whole thing. It's not like this conscious thing that is figuring. It's like it's not what you think it is. No. And they're all
it's like better processing.
And it's in their best interest of all these AI companies that are building this to build up this huge narrative of how powerful and how great it is and stuff like that, because they're getting billions of dollars of funding. And a lot of it is just a bunch of smoke and mirrors. It is not as amazing as we're all being told it is. And it's like,
well, that's good. That's comforting, because I just sent a link to Doug. I want you guys to watch this.
That's
where the molt bots.
What's it's Karen? What's her name?
Days.
Karen Howe.
Karen Howe. Okay. Yeah. Doug, I just sent you a link in our group thread. If you could pull it up and you might need to hit mute and hit play on the video. And I just want you guys to see how they're using AI robots in war. Okay.
All right.
And I'm gonna. Okay, look at this video. There's the AI dog with the machine gun on it.
I've seen this. Yeah.
And just taking people out, and they're following him. So that's actually happening. So it goes ahead of the soldiers and takes out bad guys. And there's a guy running, and there's the drone that just shot him.
They've done this before with these little like track robots that they would follow.
Look at that. Look how it goes in by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that sucks.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
It's getting there.
I don't, do you guys think they haven't seen Terminator? Like, is this a movie nobody's watched?
I know. Well, yeah.
Because here's the deal.
Yeah, but this isn't, Sal, this is more robotics and engineering than that is AI right there.
That is AI.
That's not AI, bro.
Yes, it is.
This is what you're getting closed on. That this is all
No, they're using AI technology.
See, again, that's all jargon to get you to believe that this is big AI thing that's happening right now.
Well, nobody's
like
it's all programmed.
Yeah, it's programmed.
Yeah.
It's programmed. It's great programming. We've had that for a very long time.
Okay, so
and it's the most
not
advanced
like autonomous.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's not thinking on its own and making these rational decisions. It is programmed to do something. And we've had machine guns that have been programmed to do things. We've had
which is advanced. I mean, it's better than it's been.
Exactly. It's not. They're not. It's not. This is what I'm trying to get there. You need to listen to this interview is because a lot of this jargon that we've been told is all to make us believe that this is a huge AI movement and we're all transitioning over to the new world that's happening, much like the metaverse. And it ain't shit.
But
it ain't what everybody thinks it is.
Yeah,
okay, but there's the other side of it, which is, because I'm sure there probably is a lot of smoke, but there also has already been a lot of layoffs.
Sure. Because
efficiency has gone through the roof.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Efficiency has gone through the roof. That's happened historically forever also.
But this is due to AI is what I'm saying.
Not necessarily due to AI. Again, everyone wants to name it artificial intelligence. No, it's not artificial intelligence. It's programmers learning to program systems that are more efficient and better.
Yeah.
This whole idea that there's this boogeyman.
What about
It's like compounded intelligence.
what about
Yes.
what about AI writing code? Like I showed you guys that video the other day of Claude where somebody says, "Hey, make me an app that does this."
Right, they programmed that very narrow for it capable to do that. Its ability to go do something else intelligent in another field or world, it completely.
So what you're
can
saying
do.
is what's blown out of proportion is AGI, artificial general intelligence.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. I could agree with that.
And that's and
I
so
don't think we're anywhere with that yet.
we're not. And it's like this. And with the big thing, the big leap that we'll never be able to make is the conscious part. There is something that you do before you make a decision all the time that you're conscious.
Well, what's interesting to me is how do you create consciousness when we don't even understand what it is?
That's right. We won't be able to.
If you don't understand something, how do you make it?
Well, you know that they're going to do. They're just going to go the cyborg route.
Yep.
And they're going to start because you can only get so far with machinery.
I'm glad you said that, Justin.
They're going to incorporate more biology.
I'm glad you said that, Justin, because R3 Bio, maybe you can look it up, Doug. R3 Bio. Let's just look up and see what they're doing right now, or what they're beginning to work on. Because you mentioned cyborgs, so it's kind of
I see more of that, like body suits and stuff like that. A human's in that gives them superpowers.
Go to news. Go back and click on news because I want you guys to see one of these headlines, bro. It's pretty. It's a good time. It doesn't show, huh? All right. Anyway, I'll read you this headline. This was on Disclose TV. R3 Bio is working to grow headless human bodies to harvest organs for research.
No.
If we can create.
No.
This is a quote. This is one of the investors in the company. If we can create a non-sentient headless bodyoid for a human being, that will be a great source of organs.
Wow, that's crazy.
So you have like non-sentient, I guess headless human flesh bags.
That is creepy, dude.
Yeah, dude. And then you're like, oh, I want to get my, I'm 50. I should replace my heart.
Body just stands up.
And then they'll go to your clone body.
Soon we'll have head transfers.
Yeah.
He's just right around 70. You're like, I'll take a 25-year-old body. You just be able to transfer your.
Well, I mean, hey, listen, let's just go crazy right now. Let's just think about what this looks like. They'll take you, they'll take your DNA and clone you. Not all of you, but they're going to clone your body.
Yeah.
So now you're like,
without a head.
Yeah, because we don't want it to be sentient, right? We just want meat.
Yeah.
Man, my skin's a little wrinkly. Can you peel off that skin for me and just replace some of mine? Or I just
head transplant.
I broke my arm.
Well, you know that like way back in the day, there was like this mad scientist who created like a double-headed dog.
I saw that.
They transplanted a head from another dog and connected it to the vertebrae of this other dog, and it lived for like 2 days.
This was the Soviet Union.
Yeah. It's the creepiest thing ever. Again, this falls into the like, where are the morals? Where are the breaks?
You have to have it.
Well,
human reason.
This also makes me think too that this goes back to what we talk about how arrogant we are sometimes with like our not like part of the reason why we have to make it headless is because the brain is so complex and we can't.
But also because I think people are uneasy with it. But you just wait. You go down that
They're
path,
abominations,
and they'll make a brain. Just make sure it's not aware because I want to replace.
Yeah, I mean, I think again, we know a lot. But we know very little still about the brain and all of its functions, its capability, or of how to make one. Same thing goes with our gut. Yeah. And so I right away think when you try and create that thing, there's something within the gut that we're still unaware of that will completely just make that not work.
Well, again, and back to like the meatless meat, right? That whole thing. If like you're making cells that reproduce rapidly, because you have to get a bunch of cells to grow, like what is that? What other version of that have we seen?
Well,
cancer.
Yes, and also what's to stop? Here's why human reason is good but limited, because we can reason crazy shit. Okay, without a moral framework, without objective morality, we'll do crazy stuff. So like, what if we said, hey, let's make a meat body, and then attach a AI robot head to it, because we want human-like. Yeah. Robot servants or worse, you know. I want a brothel with flesh robots, but it's okay because they're robots, so it's totally fine. We're not hurting anybody, and it's all good. You don't think that people are going to try and go in that direction?
I don't disagree with that.
I mean,
this is I'm talking to
balloons in their chest.
I'm talking to conservative Sal, not libertarian Sal anymore.
Yeah.
It's just so different. Libertarian Sal would have said something different.
No, that would have bothered me too, bro. That would have bothered me too.
That dude will sign up.
Just to say, they put fake boobs on it. Why would they not do that?
Just make them extra big.
Did you guys see the UFO stuff that they're talking about right now?
No, but is it related to Bigfoot? Because like that's where I'm at right now.
What's going on with Bigfoot?
Bigfoot sightings in like Ohio,
bro. They're just testing us right now.
Yeah,
let's just throw it all out right now and just see like the fact that Epstein stuff came out and we didn't even get shook from that. They're like, man, drop some alien shit, drop some Bigfoot shit. You know what I'm saying?
Push all the buttons.
Yeah, let's just push it all.
Yeah, everything in reality is fake.
Yeah, dude, there's tons. Oh yeah, Ohio, tons of them. There was a picture I saw. It would look like a face of Bigfoot. I don't know if it was real or not. Well, anyway, here's the UFO stuff. You ready for this?
Tell me.
Here's a timeline from 2017 to now. So, 2017, the Pentagon admitted it ran a secret $22 million UFO program called AATIP for years. Never told the public.
Yes.
2023.
Matt Gaetz was talking about this.
A decorated intelligence officer testifies under oath to Congress that the U.S. has recovered non-human craft and non-human biologics. He risks federal prison to say it. 2024. The Pentagon opened an official UAP disclosure office. The same government that spent 70 years calling UFO witnesses crazy quietly built a department to investigate exactly what they were saying. And now, 2026, a former congressman says that the military briefed him on interspecies breeding programs.
That's Matt Gaetz.
These are all the guys that were in that documentary, wasn't it? Did you watch that documentary?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah,
yeah. They were
no. Matt Gaetz wasn't, but like he was bringing up that program. It was apparently human alien hybrid breeding program. That's
this one guy,
what dude?
This one politician from, I think he was from Australia. He said you would be surprised at how many non-human or not fully human people there are.
Yeah.
That sucks, dude.
Well, I mean, it explains Zuckerberg for one.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, who else?
Hey, dude. All I know that's demons. I told you guys.
Oh my
god. Ah, scary.
Whoa.
That's disgusting.
That is super scary.
Yeah. So what's this dinosaur thing that you've been raving about?
Oh, Justin did this to me. Justin started
stoking Adam's
Justin
fire,
started
dude.
sending me down the dinosaur rabbit hole, dude. I've got all this.
So what happened?
I made a comment a long time ago to you. Remember? Don't you remember when I made that? Dinosaurs aren't even real. You know what I'm saying? I said that. You know, a little
all tongue in cheek. And now there's this whole.
I mean, a little tongue in cheek. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. I've read stuff a long time ago, and obviously there's a huge camp of people that still are on this side of this. Is that a lot of the dinosaur bones that we've found have like been put together in a fashion that is so not realistic. They can't even hold like reproductive organs and all this shit. Like, so there's a reason why that you don't see that in any of the textbooks too. It's like all we always show is this skeleton, and then we have the skin. But we've got no science to support how they reproduced or how that was even possible or any of those things. And so, yeah, and I don't know.
So now your algorithm's showing all this.
Yeah, so now so after Justin sent one to me and I opened it and I looked at it and I read it, now it's like my feed is starting to get all this stuff. And I'm like, oh God, dude. Don't.
Some guy was trying to claim like they were suppressing because what really there was dragons and giants that basically they're trying to like cover up, and so they were like putting them together,
which is like biblical type stuff, right? Like, so biblical type stuff talks about things like that, and so and all of it is like a cover up to prove anything that is biblical, and so this is their way of doing
funny,
that.
and if you look in history, is like even just dragons, for instance, like in different cultures, there's lots of examples of that.
Yeah.
Like there's not as many examples of dinosaur, except like Göbekli Tepe does have like some depicted
Weird
drawings.
looking, they look like stegosauruses.
Yeah. I mean, I think this came up because I told you my son was asking about, like, he was reading Genesis, and he's reading,
paleontologist.
He's all, where's the dinosaurs?
Yeah. He's like, did God make the dinosaurs before or after? And so he was asking me that. I'm like, oh boy. How's Daddy?
That's a good question, son.
Daddy's still trying to figure this one out too.
There are verses in the
Piecing that
Bible
together.
that refer to
giant creatures.
Yeah. What's
but
the term they use?
Leviathan.
Leviathan.
Yeah.
Hey, Doug, put up Leviathan scripture. I want to hear what it reads.
I mean, there's also stuff in the Bible that talk about other sheep and other pens, and so that's what people have used for aliens and stuff too. So it refers to other sheep and other pens.
Oh, interesting.
And so there's stuff that is claimed.
It was in the book of
Apparently, okay, so more conspiracy. There was this guy that was claiming that Easter 2026 is when the great reveal of like aliens for sure is going to be like, reveal itself, and they're going to be like orbs of light coming out of the ocean, and it's like there's going to be like this red alignment sun with I don't know if it was like somewhere like in Egypt, like behind the Great Pyramid, there was supposed to be some kind of crazy alignment that happens like during that day. And I'm like, wow, cool. So we could look forward to that.
Or orb sightings have spiked recently
They have,
too.
yeah.
Like tons and tons of people are posting videos of
Texas and
of crazy orbs. And it looks like a meteor, so it's coming down and then suddenly changes directions.
It just kind of
they're like, what is that?
moves around.
How cool? What if you were outside at night?
I think it's lasers,
like,
dude.
What would you do if you were outside? What if you were outside at night and you saw something like that? You're just looking like, wow, look at those yellow balls, and then they start moving. Like,
yeah,
definitely.
I would think somebody had some kind of laser that.
Yeah,
I mean, we've now moved into a time though now that I don't think that any of us would even be that scared or weird. I would look for my phone to record it.
It's just weird. If you had told me,
but I just would. Isn't that kind of? Don't you think that's kind of weird that we wouldn't like? We've been hit with so much stuff. You're almost numb to.
Totally.
Yeah, like no big deal.
Totally.
I mean, even the fact that I have this weird cannon that goes off every night at 11 o'clock near my house, and I have yet to investigate.
A what?
A cannon?
So I've told you guys this.
A cannon?
There is a massive cannon that goes off.
It's a cannon?
Well, I mean, kaboom! Like that loud. That's probably blocks away from my house. Like, it's hard to tell exactly because how loud it is. But it goes off like clockwork almost every night.
And you talk to your neighbors to see?
Oh, it's all over next door. So next door,
What are the theories?
like nobody knows. It's been going on for years.
This is so cool.
Is it like underground? They think, or like
I don't.
This is so cool. It's been going on for years. And it's every night.
It's every night. It's never the exact time. It's always between like 10 and midnight, somewhere in that range. But it is so loud.
Anybody in Morgan Hill?
If
you have information,
I want to hear theories.
It's undistinguishable. It happened, and if so, I'm on the south side of Morgan Hill, and so maybe even somebody north of Gilroy could probably hear it. It's so loud, and it happens every night. And Katrina and I got on Nextdoor app, and every night.
Have you tried going online to look it up?
I mean, no, not. Nextdoor app I feel like is the most accurate places people in our neighborhood.
Google this.
That's so crazy.
Loud boom in
Morgan
the
Hill?
evening in Morgan Hill.
Oh yeah,
California.
man. I've never thought about actually. I doubt that. Well, maybe you'll find some Reddit stuff. Maybe.
Yeah, dude.
Like, is there like a mine or anything
At night.
like close by?
No, nothing like that.
reports of loud booms in the Morgan Hill area are frequently linked to scheduled underground controlled blasts for local construction projects, such as Anderson Dam, or occasional military aircraft training creating sonic booms. Hey, we figured it out. Look at this. Scroll down. Watch. Look at this. Anderson Dam seismic retrofit project. Regular permitted blasting often occurs between Monday and Friday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m.
So it's definitely not that because it's after that.
No, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., but okay.
It's definitely
Fighter jets from nearby bases produce sonic booms.
No.
Fireworks, no. And weather events.
No.
Aliens.
See, none of those, dude. It is the same kind of boom.
Well, there's hell of them.
Something.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah. That's cool. You got your own little conspiracy bro in your area.
Yeah. I mean, if you go on to next door where all the neighbors are talking about it, when it happens, they all get on there. It's like, there it is again. Does anybody know? And like nobody can ever answer what.
Or it's just some old fart that's like got a cannon.
Well, like, it actually sounds like some dude because the timing is I've checked for it consistently enough to be like it's not on the hour, it's not like this exact time, but it's always between 10 and midnight. And the reason why it's so easy for me is I lay in bed. That's when I'm in bed. And a lot of nights I have my slider open, and we could be watching TV and you could hear it.
So I'm seeing a lot about Anderson Dam there, but
Anderson Dam is on the other side, and it shouldn't be happening at 11 p.m. at night. Sal, they're not blowing up.
At what point do you take?
I know, right? It's weird.
Like at one point, because this is going to it has to happen. I'm sure Justin would do this. I don't know if you'll do it, but Justin for sure. Why don't you get a bunch of dads together?
If it was a consistent, if it was on a consistent minute of the hour, I would have already gone out and try to figure out myself. But because I don't want to go sit out in my neighborhood for 2 hours, like back.
It sounds like a job for dads. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, get the dads together. We're going to figure this out.
How do you even track that though?
Huh?
How do you even track it? It's one time, right?
Yeah, one time.
So you hear boom.
That's it.
You get the general direction, and you
don't have that's what I mean. You don't have an exact time either.
There are devices that can measure sound,
how far away
its direction, or show you the direction it's coming from.
Some there are ways. Sound compass.
I mean, I have a good idea of where it's coming from, just because I could hear it from my room, and that's how I know it's not Anderson Lake too, because Anderson Lake is the other side of the freeway and back it's the other total out of the direction. It's like. It's
imagine a bunch of dads show up at the place.
It's heading towards Gilroy.
You've been driving us crazy.
Well, yeah, if you go to the Nextdoor app, there's just tons of threads and comment every night. Every night that it happens, there's like another person who like gets on there. Is like, I just heard this loud because it's huge. It's super loud. My TV can be on and I can hear.
You know
it
what? It might be Bigfoot.
Kind of blasting.
It might be Bigfoot.
It sounds like one of those old school cannons, like a cannonball cannon.
You know, you just reminded me of one of my favorite Japanese game show prank shows are the best. You ever seen those, Doug? The prank shows? They're messed up, bro. There was one, you could probably find this somewhere online, where they would sneak in while someone's sleeping a cannon into the person's room, and they just blow
your eardrums out, dude.
Dude, the people wake up traumatized.
Yeah.
And
I can imagine.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah. Oh God.
That's look like at that. Shell shock.
There's so many of these videos.
Oh my God.
What are they doing over there, Doug?
I mean, their TV is unhinged. Let's just say that.
Yeah, bazooka.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, dude. The guy he wakes up traumatized. Like you look at his face and you know they've ruined his life.
Dude,
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Hiya Health makes multivitamins for kids, but they're not gummy candies. They don't have like literally no nutrients like most of the other children's multivitamins. This has adequate nutrients, make a difference for your children's health. And it's not a bunch of sugary candy. It is tasty, but it's not a bunch of sugary candy. This is the only multivitamin for kids that we here at Mind Pump promote. And by the way, you can get 50% off. Go to hiyahealth.com. That's HIYA health.com/Mind Pump. Back to the show. This segment of the podcast is brought to you by Mind Pump Fitness Coaching. This is the #1 course that teaches trainers and coaches how to build sustainable 6-figure plus businesses and careers in fitness. Look, it's roundtable based, so you can hear Adam, Justin, and myself teaching you how to build a better business, get more leads, close more deals, close bigger deals, and be more effective trainers. By the way, our course is nationally recognized. In fact, it gives you 1.9 CEUs with or for your NASM certification. Find out more at
Our first caller is Sarah from Washington.
Hi, Sarah.
How you doing, Sarah?
How can we help you?
Doing great. Hi. Thanks for taking my call or my question. I was diagnosed last year with osteopenia. I'm 57 years old. That was kind of a surprise, and dove into the whole world of trying to figure it out, what to do. I got really little information from my doctor. Take more calcium, take some vitamin D. So I started looking at the weight-bearing exercises. I'd been a runner for quite a while, but never really did any of the weight type stuff. So I've been working on it. I'm not super strong. I'm not looking to, go for bodybuilding or anything, but I'm curious if there are some weight-bearing exercises that will be more beneficial specifically for osteopenia or, God forbid, osteoporosis at some point. Do I work legs, hips, back more? How does that whole muscle building to bone density issue work? I guess that's some of my questions, as well as diet, supplements, that kind of thing. If you all have,
I'm really, really happy you called in.
I know, I'm glad.
I'm so happy you called in. I'm reading your email, and it shows that you started like group classes and stuff to try to add some kind of exercise.
Well, I used to do more group classes. Now I'm just doing like weightlifting type stuff at home. I got weights. I do that versus doing like, kind of the group classes that weren't so much on the weights.
Good. So the thing that builds bone is exactly the same thing that builds muscle.
Yep.
Okay. So as muscle gets stronger, muscle anchors a bone. You have more shear force on the bone will strengthen. Impact exercises, stamina exercises barely have an impact on bone density. Like, in fact, when you look at studies on runners, you would think with the impact of running, you would see this huge increase in bone density, and you see a very, very small positive impact on bone density, and oftentimes upper body bone density gets worse. So what you want, Sarah, is very traditional strength training, bodybuilding, powerlifting. You're gonna lift weights like someone who's trying to get strong. Yep. And what this looks like is you're not working out to get a sweat. You're not working out to feel the burn. You're doing a set of lifting for 8 to 12 reps. It's going to feel heavy and hard. You don't want to train till you can't move anymore because we don't want our technique to be thrown off. But it needs to feel like you're grinding through, like you're lifting something heavy. You do a set. Here's the most important part, Sarah. You rest for 2 minutes.
At least.
You're like minimum.
At least. And the rest is not because you need to catch your breath. So some people think, I'm rest until I catch my breath. No. What we're trying to do is we're trying to train the energy systems that contribute to strength gain. So there's 2 energy systems we can train. One is for endurance and stamina. One is for strength and power. Strength and power, we're utilizing an energy mostly known as ATP. And this burns up very quickly. It replenishes after about 2 or 3 minutes. If I do too short of a rest period or too many reps, or I start to chase the stamina and the burning, now it's glycolytic. And I'll get more endurance and stamina, but I'm not going to get the bone density and muscle strength benefits. Okay. So if you get stronger with your lifts, so let's say you're doing squats and you're doing 50 pounds and you did it for 8 reps and it was pretty hard. And then in 2 months, you're doing 70 pounds for 8 reps. You can guarantee yourself that you're moving towards stronger bones. If you get stronger with your lifts, your bones are getting stronger. It's a very, very strong linear correlation, especially in the first few years of strength training.
Give it time though too. It does take time. Like you'll build the strength, and it's not like this exact direct correlation of like, I got
right out the gate.
Yeah, 10 pounds stronger, and now my bone density is way better. It'll take time, but it'll happen. And when I'm training a client like you, I'm always communicating as we're sitting there resting. And I'm talking to them like, how do you feel? You feel, I'm ready to go to the next set. I'd rather you sit for another minute or two and add 2.5 to 5 pounds to the bar than to go right after it and do that same weight again. So always keep that in mind, that I don't mind if you sit there and rest for 5 minutes before the next set. If you can see yourself getting enough energy to put a little bit more weight on the bar, to lift more weight, that will serve us more than, oh, let me do another one. Let me do another one. So always keep that in mind. You can't rest too long. You can rest too short, though, with what we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. All right, Sarah, diet was your other question?
Yeah, so one doctor, take calcium, take D. Another doctor, don't take calcium, bad for your kidneys, just get it through food. Another doctor, take, algae-based calcium. And obviously eating healthy never hurt anything. So, I certainly try to do that and low processed, and I'm a lot of protein. But am I doing it right? Is there any other magic bullet? Although I did hear your creatine podcast on the other day, so that might be something I look at as well.
The reason why creatine has been shown to increase bone density is because it makes you stronger.
Yeah, you get stronger. with it.
So that's frustrating because if you have a nutrient deficiency, that will definitely contribute to bone weakening. So if you don't have enough vitamin D, K2, magnesium, calcium, if those are lacking, then you will see weakening of the bones. But if they're not lacking, taking extra is not going to do a damn thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So a good multivitamin, you're probably a good. I see what state are you in?
Washington.
Okay, so because of the weather up there, I think probably vitamin D on a daily basis is a good idea. Take it with a little K2. A multivitamin is fine. Do you have dairy?
I do.
Okay, the calcium's fine. I wouldn't worry about supplementing with calcium. That's a good idea. But what we want to do is eat a diet that promotes strength.
Mm-hmm. High protein.
So I want you to take your target body weight. So think to yourself, like, what would be like a fit, healthy body weight for me? Whatever that number is, let's say it's 150 pounds, let's just say. That's your goal in grams of protein per day.
Yeah.
So you want a high protein diet. Don't try to eat in a way where you're eating too little. You want to fuel strength and muscle, and you will predictably, within a year, see an improvement in bone density. It's very predictable.
Okay.
Unless there's an underlying autoimmune issue, which there almost always isn't, you're going to see a very predictable improvement in bone density, and it'll continue. It'll continue as you get older.
Especially since this is so new. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. No,
And keep in mind, we're trying to build. So we're trying to build muscle, we're trying to build bone. So we want to be fed. If we're doing this correctly, lifting wise and everything, you should feel an increase in appetite. Don't be afraid to feed that appetite.
Yeah, stick to whole foods.
Just whole foods, eat the protein first. But if you're hungry, go eat. I want you to eat.
That's your body saying we need to build.
That's right. That's your body trying to tell you it wants to build muscle. It wants to strengthen these bones. What we don't want to do is restrict it when you feel that way, but we do want to make good choices. So it's like, you feeling hungry and then go eating treats or something outside of that, not beneficial. Yes. But you hungry and you go have another meal that's high protein, very beneficial.
And just to encourage you, Sarah, I've never had a client where we didn't see, like you, who came to me with osteopenia, and I actually even had someone with osteoporosis. I've never had a client where we didn't see a positive impact by applying it's very predictable. The only challenge I've ever run into was the client that was afraid to eat more, because you could lift weights all you want, you could do it right, but if you're not feeding yourself properly, then you don't have the building blocks. But I've seen it's very consistent. Another question for you, Sarah. So do you have what kind of experience do you have with strength training with all this?
Not a lot. I mean, I've gone online, I've watched some folks, and just do, like I said, weights. And actually, one of you had a program that you listed recently about doing 3 months of like 8 reps, 10 reps, 12 reps. So I've been trying to do that. And I think I'm about 8 weeks in now. So trying to do something like that.
Is working with a coach or a trainer, is that in a feasible neighborhood for you?
I probably could, at least to a limited degree, depending on work hours and that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. So, because that would be the best bet for you because you're just getting started. Yeah. And there's a couple ways you could do it. You could train with someone in person, which is great. Or you could do it virtually, which is a lower investment. But they can still coach you. They're on camera with you. They can watch your technique. They can send you individualized workouts. And they can also coach you through diet and then walk you through this process. Because in the beginning, it's kind of hard to know technique.
Form,
Am I pushing hard enough? Is this feel right? You know, that kind of deal.
That's something I'm always worried about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you worked with one of our coaches for, I'd say 9 months or so, I think you'd be set up really, really well. And if that's something that you'd be interested in, I can have one of these coaches we hired these coaches, so we know they're good. I could have someone call you and you can get on the phone, ask questions, and then see if it's right for you.
Oh, that'd be great. No, I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Are you working out from home or are you going to a gym?
I'm at home.
You're at home? What do you have? Do you have dumbbells, rack? What do you have?
Dumbbells.
Just dumbbells.
Yeah, you're fine for now.
Okay, great. Yeah, we can work with that.
We're totally fine for
That'll
now.
work for you for a while.
Yep.
Sure.
You could do that. You could use just dumbbells for a good year and get really good progress. And after that, you might want to add a barbell or something like that, but you're good for now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, great. No, that's a really good outline for me. I appreciate that.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Sarah. I'll have somebody call you, I'll have someone call you, and then you could talk with them. And then if it works out, I'd love to see you on some of the calls, but they'll coach you through the whole process. And I think probably around 9 months would be a good place to kick you off to get you kind of on your own.
And be set.
Yep.
Great. Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
I love
Sarah.
it. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's funny. It's so here's the thing that stood out to me. The advice from the doctors.
Yeah.
I know.
Crazy.
I'm kind of stuck on that too.
What?
Yeah.
Now, if
Where's
you have
the weight training recommendation?
if you have a nutrient deficiency, it makes sense. Like, yes, if your vitamin D is low, you got to take vitamin D or you're going to get weakening. Same thing with, magnesium, calcium.
if you're deficient, yeah.
But it's like you do that's easy blood test. And then it's like, all right, here's what we're going to do. You're going to lift
That's
weights
such old.
once a week. Once a week. Someone with osteopenia could lift weights once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Move the needle.
Feed themselves properly, and we would see a predictable increase in bone density.
I was so
very
glad,
predictable.
I'm so glad you said that too, because I had somebody ask me about the walking with the weighted vest stuff, and it's like if you just did a set of squats once a week, you would get more benefits. More benefits than that walking every day with that weighted vest.
The benefit you see in bone density in the lower body with weighted vest walking, you will initially because it's more than what you're doing, but it's nominal. It stops.
Yeah, it stops.
Strength training is it's like we have a nail. Okay, we have a shoe or a hammer. Which one should we use? Can I hammer it in with a shoe? I mean, I could, but it's not going to be as easy or as
You got
good.
to think, like you said, it's about building muscle because that affects the bone.
It's very, very, very predictable. It works almost every time.
Our next caller is Chandler from Illinois.
Chandler, what's happening?
Hello.
What are you doing, Chandler?
Hi, guys. This is so exciting.
Yeah, how can we help you?
Okay, so a little bit of my history. I'm going to read it off for you guys. Quick background. I'm 26. I'm 5'2". My weight fluctuates around 128 to 131, and I'm moderate to very active, I would say. And then this is my history. I think this is pretty important to why I think I'm having issues right now. I was an elite karate athlete growing up. I trained for about 18 years and competed internationally on the U.S. team from ages 12 to 19. During that time, I regularly cut weight anywhere from 1 pound when I was younger upwards to 20 pounds towards the end. I definitely did not do it the right way. It was very unhealthy, a lot of high volume training, a lot of yo-yo dieting. After I was competing, after I stopped competing, I went through a bit of a fall off phase and got back into training very heavy around 21. And I felt great for a while. The last few years, I've been dealing with constant bloat and inflammation, and almost everything I eat bothers me. My blood work comes back as healthy, but my body feels like it's stuck in a state of chronic stress. And honestly, it's been very frustrating going from performing at a high level to feeling like I don't even understand my body anymore. So I guess my question would be, after years of high level training and aggressive weight cutting as a young female athlete, could that be contributing to my chronic bloating and food sensitivities? And how would you guys figure out whether the root issue is gut health, chronic stress, or something metabolic so I can start fixing it?
Thanks, Chandler.
It's like autoimmune.
This is a, by the way, predictable. When what you see often with elite female athletes, especially when weight cutting is involved. So the training that you went through for years to train at that level is very, very intense and hard. I don't need to tell you that, but people listening, like that's a lot. Yep. And then the dieting part of it took ridiculous discipline, and you probably ate very little to make weight, and then competed on top of it. And so what you're experiencing is just a predictable result of all of that cumulative stress on the body. And now here's the challenge, Chandler. The challenge for someone like you is to shift your mindset now to, is you're going to have to go through a period of recovery. And that's going to probably take a year. And it's going to feel like you're not doing a whole lot. But let me ask you some more questions. What does your current workout routine look like?
So, I've switched it up over the course of the last 3 years because I felt like the weight training that I was doing, once I started getting really inflamed and I had the constant bloat, I decided to see if I could change it, if the weight training itself was too stressful on my body. So as of right now, I know you guys are going to say something about it, but I'm very into Legree and Pilates.
That's right.
This time last year, I was weight training and also doing cycling classes for cardio. But since then, my job, I walk a lot. I get around 12,000 to 15,000 steps a day. So I've kind of tapered off on the high intensity cardio. And I've moved more into fitness classes just because I was getting frustrated with just my normal routines. And I enjoy competing against the people next to me in the class.
Of course you do. How many classes do you do a
I
week?
hear you, dude.
How many
Don't-
fitness classes do you do a week? How much Pilates do you do a week?
On a good week, I'd say 3 or 4. Wednesdays and Sundays are my rest days, so I typically just walk on those days.
Okay. And then what do these classes look like?
So they're more Legree style, so they're low impact but high intensity, and so it's a lot of time under tension, isometric holding, resistance band work. So nothing that's really heavy weightlifting, a lot of body weight. That's pretty much it. They're like 50 minutes long.
And you're trained pretty hard. You feel like, oh yeah, that was a hard workout.
I feel like I got a lot stronger in terms of I can do a lot more body weight stuff. Like I can do full rep of 10 push-ups the correct way. I can hold a plank a lot longer than I was able to. It's a lot of focus on core as well. So my core strength has skyrocketed since doing these classes.
Yeah. But back up for a second. When you're doing it, you said you like to compete with other people. If I
Yes.
were watching it, does it look like you're getting after it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I figured. Okay, so it's going to take a little while. By the way, leaky gut syndrome, are you familiar with that term?
I am.
Okay, very common with people that train at high intensity because of the overall inflammation from training. And so you probably do have some gut health issues, but the stress is a part of it. Okay, how attached are you to these classes?
Not that attached. I recently started, I want to say I've been doing it consistently for about 2 months. So it was just something new because I was getting frustrated with myself.
What were you doing before that?
I was weight training about 4 or 5 times a week and just walking on an incline. I wasn't doing high intensity cardio.
And the cycling classes, when was that?
9 months ago. I
Okay.
haven't done one since. Yeah.
And then hormones, okay? Do you have a regular period?
Yes, I do. When I was younger, when I was cutting weight,
lost
I
it.
did not. I never lost it, but it was very irregular.
Got it. Okay. All right. So, so I'll give you what the answer I think is. It might be a little tough for you. Yeah. But
That's fine.
I think you should follow MAPS 15.
Okay.
So you'll be doing like 2 lifts a day,
Okay.
and then just continue to walk. Also, I would try to work with a functional medicine practitioner to identify some of the issues with gut health. And your diet will probably look like a low FODMAP kind of paleo diet for a little while.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. But now once everything heals, you're going to feel great. And then you can ramp up the intensity again. But that would be
Stay
where I
there
would
for
start.
a while, though.
I would stay there for a little while.
Workouts can be challenging.
It's not going to feel like you're working out a lot.
Yeah,
Hon.
you're
gonna be like, this is not
antsy-pantsy
enough.
about it. But it's going to be the best recipe for
What'd you say you do for work? You said you're active. What are you doing?
So I actually used to be an athletic trainer, and it was not for me. I got into that career because I wanted to benefit myself as an athlete. I thought I was going to be an athlete my whole life, and my parents wanted me to have a backup plan. So I found that profession. I was like, oh, the modalities are going to benefit me because we don't really have that kind of stuff, especially because my sport was so niche. And I did that for about 3 years, and now I work operations and logistics. So I run sites. I'm on the floor constantly. I do a lot of manual labor too when I'm helping my team. So I'm very active on
Okay,
a day-to-day basis. They're around 9-hour days typically.
Well, the good news is that you're young, and if you do this right, you're gonna heal you'll do very well, and then you'll be surprised at how great your body starts to respond. But I would give it like a year of I'm just gonna just basic strength training. MAPS 15 is the program I want you to follow. It's 2 lifts a day. You're not in the gym for an hour. You're in there for like 25 minutes. Continue to walking. and then work with a functional medicine practitioner. If you don't want to work with a functional medicine practitioner, where I would have you start would be like a low FODMAP paleo diet to see how that helps with your gut health. And maintain good protein. Meat typically is okay with people with gut issues. How do you feel eating like meat and protein sources like that?
I mean, I'm fine eating meat. It just, I don't know if it's a mental thing at this point. I feel like everything I eat just disrupts my stomach.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe I had intolerances because I did get a celiac panel and that was negative. I thought I was lactose intolerant. I cut out dairy for a while. It didn't make a difference.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so there's a supplement called a Trantil. You could take that twice a day before you eat. Go kind of paleo would be how I would eat. So fruits, vegetables, meat. Follow MAS 15. Within a few months, you should notice if it is indeed like dysbiosis in the gut, which I think it might be. You'll notice an improvement within a few months. You'll feel worse at first with the die-off. So that might be the first like 3-4 weeks, and then you start to feel better. Follow MAPS 15 and just walk and give yourself like a year of just getting stronger, feeling good. And then after that, you can start ramping things back up.
I also want to know, so I did get an Aura ring and my resilience and my stress levels are through the roof. Like there are some times where I'm like 9 hours a day straight in a level of stress.
Yeah.
So what would be...
if you have a lot of gut inflammation, that can contribute to it. But there's also this too. This is why I'm saying give yourself a year. How many years did you train at a high level?
10.
So 10 years. So, and how old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay. So like a significant percentage of your life was training at this really high level. And so you've got this this gear that is go. And this might be like my mindset. This might be a thing where like, this is how I go, is I'm on and I make things happen and I do it. And so mindfulness, prayer, meditation. If you do anything else, what might be beneficial too, Chandler, would be something called yin yoga. Have you ever done that before?
I have not.
So yin yoga, you're probably really flexible. So I don't think you need to improve flexibility, but it's like this really slow breath work type of yoga. And I've seen that benefit people who are high stress, like yourself. And then supplementation wise, do you take any supplements?
Yeah, I do fish oil. I have vitamin D because when I did go to the doctor, I had a minor vitamin D deficiency, which I know is common in most people.
Yeah.
And then I take a woman's multivitamin.
Try magnesium glycinate before you go to bed too, and see if that helps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that would just start there, and it would just take a little while. It would just take a little while. If the gut stuff doesn't really get better after 6 weeks or 7 weeks, I would seek out a functional medicine practitioner. And if you want, we have a forum, which is it MP Holistic Health?
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah.
So if you go on Facebook, MP Holistic Health is a forum that we have, and there are functional medicine practitioners that are in there, and you can ask questions and stuff like that. But if you want a good one, we have a network in there that you can reach out to, and then they'll do like the full testing with you to really nail down what's going on.
We also have a concierge program that she might be a good candidate for too, where you just check in with one of our coaches once a month and they're just kind of keeping an eye on what's going on, diet, exercise, and make modifications. So if that's something too you're interested in, you can reach back out to us. We can set you up.
Yeah, I think I would be. I've been very stubborn of I can fix this myself.
Right.
And that's when I started listening to your podcast, even though I have a pretty strong background and I went to school for a lot of this. Yeah. And a lot of the things you guys are telling me are things that I've recommended to individuals that I've worked with before, a lot of athletes. And doing it for myself is a lot harder because I feel like I can fix it myself. So getting advice from other people who are very knowledgeable makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, let me do this then. Let me have a coach call you.
Yeah.
And then you could talk to one of our coaches and see if it's a good fit for you. But it's really tough when you train at such a high level for so long because it's hard for you to gauge what's enough and what's too much. Because your gauge is based off of this.
You can push through. Really
and so you're like, I feel like I'm barely doing anything. And compared to what you used to do, it probably is, but it's appropriate. And so it's a little bit of a transition period for sure.
I definitely did compare my old work. Honestly, it's a really good life lesson, but anything I do, I that was the hardest thing I ever did consistently. So I use it as a scale to compare what I'm doing. I'm like, well, I can work harder because I've done something
That's right.
significantly harder in my lifetime at a young age. So
That's right.
it's kind of how my brain works.
Oh, no, totally. I get it. 100%. I've worked with people like
It'll
this.
help to surrender the control of somebody else, because it's tough to get out of your own way when you've done that. You've trained yourself to be a badass.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I'll have somebody call you, okay? And then you can get on the
Okay,
phone and see if
awesome.
it's a good fit for you, okay?
Okay, thank you guys so much.
You got it. Thanks, Chandler. I mean, it's just, I've said it before, like really high level athletes,
Yep.
especially, I'm going to add another caveat to this, because
hard
I've
to
trained
unpack.
ex-college athletes, but you train when someone was a kid. She was
I know.
She was elite from 12 to 18.
a killer
That is
real
hardwired,
early.
dude.
on the Olympic level, dude.
Yeah, that is hardwired in your brain.
Formative. Yeah, formative.
So very, very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, this is where that was the reason why I went the concierge way. Is just, you know, she seems knowledgeable,
Yeah.
disciplined. It's like this is
Yeah.
kind of one of those things where you want to surrender the plan to somebody else, and then
Totally.
and that these people are so coachable, right? They're used to being
exactly.
coached their whole life. And so instead of trying to solve it yourself, you know, and muscle your way through it, you just surrender that process to somebody else who can guide you.
Our next caller is Sandy from Connecticut.
Hi, Sandy.
How you doing, Sandy?
Hi. Hi, how are you?
Good. How can we help you?
Well, first, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's pretty wild to see you guys. You ride around in the car with me all the time.
That's awesome.
You've been my go-to podcast for the past couple of years. Trying to sort out all the wrong information. I stopped listening to everybody else. So,
Thank
Appreciate
you.
that.
Thank you so much for the support.
so my question, I'm going to ask my question, then I'll give you some background. Is it possible to achieve success with weight loss after your body and your mind go through major stress, medication changes, and surgery? And just for some background, I'm 66. I've spent my entire life yo-yo dieting. I finally got it right when I gave up dieting and just started living a healthy lifestyle. I began consistently exercising in 2014 at the age of 55, so a little late to the game. But that happened after seeing a photo of myself when I was at my absolute heaviest, which was horrible. I lost over 100 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And I kept it off for 7 years. And then year 8, my primary physician retired, and a new doctor that stepped in for him just abruptly discontinued one of my thyroid medications. I had had my thyroid removed due to cancer years ago. And that spiraled me into a year of major changes with my mood, my focus, my stamina, strength, energy, just everything. I spent a lot of time looking for new doctors. I had ongoing medication changes happening throughout that year. And I gained 20 pounds and I lost muscle. And that despite continuing my workouts and my healthy eating throughout that whole time. It just seemed out of my control. My arthritis worsened during that year as well, and that led me to needing to have both the knees replaced. The pain for that whole year prior to the knee replacement was pretty bad. That hindered my workouts, but I continued doing them. And then obviously after each surgery, I needed some time off for healing and rehab, but I was back in the gym within 4 weeks after each of the surgeries. So in addition to that, last year, I got a call from the FBI notifying me that our broker had stolen our entire retirement fund. I spent my entire adult life saving, and I got that news 1 month before retirement.
Wow.
So needless to say, I continue to work full time with no end in sight. And so anyway, despite all that, I continued with my workouts and my healthy eating. My time in the gym was really the only place that I could just forget about it all for a little while. And felt at peace and felt in control. So I love the gym. I am absolutely determined to not let this monster steal my health. He stole my money. He's not stealing my health. But I feel like I'm losing the battle here. Sorry. So listening to your podcast and working out with my trainer, who's wonderful, has gotten me through these 2 years. I feel like I'm pretty much back to my baseline at the gym, with the exception of carrying now extra 30 pounds. It's really hindering my workouts and messing, psychologically with me as well. I was at the point of feeling like, a healthy person, looking good, finally understanding how to feed my body and how to work out instead of the crazy dieting and the killing myself with cardio. And now I'm back to can't look in a mirror. All I see is the fat. And I just keep watching the scale climb. And so, is it hopeless? Have I been through too much? Am I too old? It's like, just, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in, Sandy. And you've been through a lot. That is really rough. All around the same time. So did they put you back on thyroid medication, or are you off because of the cancer diagnosis? And
no, I'm back on it.
Okay.
The reason she took me off was she didn't even meet me to do this. She just was looking at 8-month-old blood work and decided that she just saw that I was on Cytomel, and she said anybody over the age of 60 shouldn't be on Cytomel because you will have a heart attack or a stroke, and scared the heck out of me. And but I'd been on it. I was 65 at the time, so. But anyway, no, my new endocrinologist said that's absolutely not true. It may be true for somebody with a thyroid, but I have no thyroid, so that didn't need to happen. But I'm back on the Cytomel, but at a much lower dose than I was before. Okay,
good. That was important for me. All right, so you have been through a lot, hon, and that's rough. But I'm gonna ask you a different question.
Okay.
Had you gone through all of that without exercise, without your trainer, without the gym, where do you think you'd be now?
Well over 300 pounds, depressed, a mess, a complete mess.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Yep.
You're doing great. What's really great about exercise when it's used properly, nutrition when it's used properly. We all focus on the mirror and the scale and how we look. But you know what the real value is that you go through life and really crazy things happen in life. I went through a really difficult time years ago. It was actually one of the most difficult times of my life. And it was one of the first times I'd gone through something difficult. I had lost somebody close to me who had lost the battle with cancer. And I was very close with her. And it was really hard. But when I look back, and my workouts were very different at the time. I wasn't going to the gym and working out like I normally did because we weren't sleeping much. It was a very difficult time, but it carried me. It was such a blessing to be able to use it in that way, and that's what you did. You went through all of that. You maintained your consistency, and the workouts, you said something. You said, going to the gym was when I kind of felt somewhat at peace. Mm-hmm. And that's perfect. That's perfect. And you're moving in the right direction. Just stay the course. You're only 2 years out from all of that really challenging trauma, which you're probably still trying to process the retirement part because, you've got this concept and idea of your mind of what it's going to look like, and that gets taken away from you. And so it takes a while. It's only been a couple years. It takes a long time to say, okay, well, this is what it's going to be now. I had all these expectations that you probably were envisioning for 5 years leading up to retirement.
How long have you had been back on the thyroid too for?
I was back on a good therapeutic dose only a month before I found out about the retirement.
Okay.
But I've been back on the thyroid med since a year.
Yeah.
The short answer to your question is no. No, it's not too much stress. No, you're not too old. No, it's not too late. You've got a trainer, and it sounds like you like your trainer. You stay you stay the course, and it's only going to get better.
It is.
It's only going to get better. And again, I just want to remind you, had you not done any of those things during that difficult time, oh boy, would you be in a different place. It actually protected you quite a bit. It can't take everything away, but it protected you a lot. And that's a huge victory, Sandy, because a lot of people quit everything. And in a time like that, they just give up, and it's much worse. So you did really well. And I just say stay the course. And the stuff you hear us talk about on the podcast about nutrition, whole food diet, make sure your protein intake is high, strength train properly with good technique and form, what you're doing with the trainer. Make sure you prioritize good sleep. Like that's it. That's it. And it's gonna get better because you're coming out of something really difficult.
Yeah. How have you felt strength wise like the last 6 months or so?
My strength is better. I still get frustrated. My trainer's great. He sounds like you guys because, like I say, I'm not making any progress. And, and he reminds me, we're getting your legs strong again on newborn knees. And you are, my workouts are progressive overloads. And
oh, great.
You're doing good.
So you're doing good.
You're doing good. You're doing really good.
Yeah. My sleep is horrible. I can't seem to
stress.
Control that. And, so I just, you guys talk a lot about stress and sleep affecting weight loss. And those are the two things that are out of control. And I can't seem to get it right.
What are some of the things you're doing right now to try and to better that? Are you got a routine going? Are you taking any supplements? What does it look like?
I do I've tried a few different routines, and I tried melatonin for a bit. It actually raised my blood pressure. And I didn't like the feel. And so I stopped that. There's a natural herb kind of thing. I'm spacing on the name of it right now that I have tried. I did see a naturopath, and she did do, a blood panel, and my magnesium was fine. She didn't recommend I try that. I thought about that. Actually, a podcast I was listening to you guys this morning, you guys were talking about fish oil. I am not taking that. I wonder if that's something I should add.
Yeah, it'll be a good idea. High EPA fish oil will be a good idea for health.
But I haven't done much as far as, I don't like medications. I try to not go that route. Of course, my doctor here in my story wanted to, anti-anxiety, antidepressants, and sleep medications. And it's like, I really don't want to do that. It affects the thyroid stuff as well. So
what about things like chamomile tea and some theanine, some things that will just kind of calm you down, that are natural, that will calm you down at nighttime to help get you ready for sleep? I mean, I chamomile tea every single night for me is kind of part of my routine that helps.
When you look at the data on stress, on stress, there's this is what the data tends to show. You could change a situation that's causing a lot of stress, but yours is unavoidable. It happened to you. It's not like you chose it, because if you could reverse it, you would. So, and that's a lot of times the stress that people have. It's the stress of things that they can't change. So the data on how, because when you look at the data, some people do really well in comparison to other people. And so what they've done is they've tried to look at what's the difference between those two groups. And the difference is, and it could be boiled down to strong community, deep friendships, a strong spiritual practice is an incredible protector against those things. So I don't know if you have either one of those, but seek those out. And so I don't know what your spiritual life is, but a kind of you can kind of hit two birds with one stone by finding. And I don't know if and again, forgive me if I'm going too far with this, but you could find a local church, and you don't even have to have belief, but just go there and become a part of the community. And I'm just telling you what the data shows. Right. It is remarkable how powerful it is at alleviating stress. It doesn't take away the thing that you can't change, because you can't change it, but it's got this remarkable power to make someone more resilient. And it has to do with those things. If you don't have like a good, strong community or kind of a sense of purpose that's outside of yourself, what they would refer to as a transcendent, it's very difficult. And it typically goes down the medication route to numb ourselves from the physiological effects of stress. So I know that's kind of outside the scope of what we do because we talk fitness all the time. But I would say you might be blown away at how big of a difference it makes to kind of get in that kind of community and start to move towards maybe a spiritual practice and see how that helps you.
No, I exactly. And I do feel that's a missing piece right now. And you talk about that a lot on the podcast, and I have had that in the back of my mind. Growing up, I was somebody who went to church all the time. I was a Sunday school teacher, and I was president of the youth group and everything. And I just moving to Connecticut, just never connected with a church here. And that's missing. And I think that's important. So I will do that.
Sandy, I'd love to hear back from you. I think that would really help you because you're doing all the right stuff. You have a trainer.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think your nutrition's probably great. You listen to our show, so it sounds like you know
good community is
what helps. So
I've gotten sloppy with the nutrition. I think I don't even know for sure, and I only say that because I'm a behaviorist. That's what I do for work. So I have my little behavior plan for myself and things, and basically just build on healthy habits. And I stopped planning and tracking, or do it off and on. So I feel out of control, but at the same time, I was at that point where I was cutting down on that a little bit because after 8 years, I kind of got this, so, but it's hard to say. I think you will say I'm maybe not eating enough. I'm about at 1,500 calories. And
that's too low.
Yeah.
I try to I aim for 170 grams of protein, and I hit about 150.
That's not bad. I think your fat intake probably needs to go up a little bit, and you probably have a low appetite because of the stress, I'm assuming.
It's up and down. It's weird, and sometimes I struggle between, am I hungry, or am I really hungry, or am I just wanting to soothe myself? After my workouts, like the last 10 minutes, I'm starving, and I eat. And I just, based on, podcasts, I think on March 11th, I listened to about putting fruit in my shake in the morning. I stopped doing that. And now I threw some yogurt in there. So I'm getting back to planning, tracking, prepping, and all that, like back to the basics to just kind of feel more in control of that and to get a better handle on
that's great.
What I'm doing.
I think that's right. That's going to help fuel the process, especially when we talk about the aesthetic side, right? To the building the muscle, losing the body fat, going that direction, being consistent with the protein while you're strength training to get the real benefits of it. Yeah. So you definitely want to feed yourself.
I tell you what, though, you just based on what the data shows, you can't. There's nothing that replaces what community does with people. I just read this huge study on adolescents and teenagers because for the first time in history, this young group is experiencing anxiety and depression at higher rates than people in middle age, which has never been that way. But there was a subcategory of these kids that seemed to be untouched by this, and they were the ones who were most involved with their church. And it was like it's like they had on bulletproof vests. And so you really you just can't replace that. And the data shows it. Like you could have someone who's really perfect with diet, exercise, everything, but when they lack community, you see it's like they smoke more than a pack of cigarettes a day is what the data shows. Yeah. And if that's resonating with you, I think it sounds like it is. Go for it. Go out there, put yourself out there, get in a community. And I think that might be the missing piece because it sounds like you're doing all the other stuff, kind of right.
Yeah, and I also think maybe some volunteer work because I used my money to help others all the time.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I resent that it was taken from me and I can't do that as much now. But it's like, you know what? You could volunteer though. You don't need to that doesn't cost anything and they don't expect money from it, you know. So,
Especially if you do it willingly, that is such a huge ROI on happiness.
Yep.
That's other data that I love looking at.
You're doing good, Sandy.
Yeah.
You are, hon. Keep listening to us. I appreciate you bringing this in the car with you.
Yeah. A couple quick questions, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So the rest times, you talk about like 90 seconds or 3 minutes or whatever. So I go to Anytime Fitness, and I don't know if you know their routine, how they have the supersets.
Yeah.
So I have 4 supersets and I have 3 exercises in each superset. You do 12 to 15 reps 3 times through.
Right.
So is it after each exercise or after each rep?
After each exercise.
Yeah. So tell your trainer, hey, can I do, instead of doing
Back off the supersets,
can I just do a set and rest for 90 seconds and then do another set? Even if I do less, that's okay. That'll be better for strength and actually better for stress.
Sandy, you will always benefit resting longer than shorter. So I would, with a client like you, I'd rather see you rest 5 minutes, 6 minutes between sets than to go right into another one. That's especially when it comes to building muscle, that's what we're chasing.
And especially with stress.
And especially with stress. So fast pace, even if it's got rest periods of 60 to 90 seconds, that would still be considered low rest periods when it comes to building strength. So beyond 2 minutes, we're better off than shorter than that. And so any way you can do that.
How many days a week do you meet with your trainer?
So I do 2 days of strength training, 1 cardio class and 1 combo class.
Okay.
In my training is not one-on-one, it's small group.
Yeah.
But I get a lot of individual attention. It's three of us in the group usually.
Even if you showed up to that training class and you did 2 exercises, that's it. But you rested 2.5, 3 minutes in between, that'd be better. I would also look at the classes that you're taking, and I would look for the lower intensity ones, because there's so much stress on you right now that more stress is just piling up. And so if you're doing the intense stuff, I would avoid that. And so
a yoga class would be better.
Yeah.
Well, and I find the harder I work, the better I feel, because that's when I can block out all the stuff. When I cannot do talk therapy or meditation or I teach mindfulness to my clients. I can't do it myself because I'm just so focused on, why am I doing this? Because this and this and this happened.
Well, I could talk to you this way because this is your field, but you're doing exercise avoidance. Is what you're
correct.
doing. Yeah.
I know that. Yeah.
So, but it's not serving you physiologically at all.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can listen
take
to
long walks.
Long walks and listening to Mind Pump will serve you better.
Or listen to a book. If you can really get into a book or music or something like that, it might be better.
Yeah. Just one more quick thing. Actually, kind of asking Justin this. You've talked to many times about exercises for back. I have scoliosis as well in my back, and which I didn't know until I did all these X-rays for all my joint stuff. But so stretching and balance and mobility and the lateral stuff. Is there anything in? Here's what happened. When I work out, I feel fine. I don't have any pain. I get through it. But by the time I get in my car, drive home, and get out, I'm stiff as a board and walking like I'm 100. What kind of exercises should I be doing for my back and stretching out?
Sure. Have you been able to check out any of our Prime stuff? Like, we've done webinars, Adam and myself. Okay. I think that would be a good start. There's our compass tests, which will address a lot of that upper back issues too, with the wall press. And then also the windmill. These are 2 of our tests. If just as simple as that, and like just practicing on it, trying to nail down the form of it, getting that thoracic rotation, and just easing your way through those movements and connecting to it, I think will help a lot. And 2, it's a great way to alleviate, some of the stress. So even the mobility route in general, I think, would benefit you so much more.
I think if you did the rest periods and didn't do the circuits, I think that would help a lot.
Yeah, big time.
Doug, what's the link for the Prime webinar he did?
Yeah.
So mapsprimewebinar.com. I'll add to this, to his advice. Go to the mapsprimewebinar.com. Follow that routine that Justin does, which is just you yourself doing it, testing it, practicing it. As you get better at that, and you practice it every day if you can. Come home, just practice that movement in your living room. Get really good at it. Eventually, we can load it. Eventually, you can hold just a dumbbell over your head while you do the windmill. What a good exercise.
Yeah.
Okay.
And do 5 of them, rest for minutes. Do 5 more, rest for 3 to 5 minutes. Practice that movement. Be really good for you to do at home. Yep. Really good.
You know,
Okay.
I'm going to do something I've never done before, Sandy, because I really would like to help you. So here's what I'm going to do. And I just want you to keep tracking what you're doing, okay? Is I'm going to have you come back on in 30 days, and then I'm going to have you come back on in 30 days, and in 30 days. So I'm going to have 3 more calls with you here, so we can go through what you're doing and start modifying you in a little bit and give you a little bit of coaching virtually, just so we can walk you through the next, what's that give us here?
90 days.
Yeah, they'll give us the next 90 days. So let's have you, we'll schedule you back on in 30, we'll schedule you back on in 60, and then again in 90. And each time we're going to talk about what you did, what you didn't do, how it
Report
worked.
on your consistency.
And we'll help you along this this process. And I think we'll do all right.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Wow.
Yep.
You got it.
Thanks.
You're doing
Thanks so
okay.
much.
You're doing okay,
Yeah.
okay? We're going to see you in 30 days.
All right. Thanks so much.
All right, Sandy.
She's doing great.
Yeah. Bye.
Poor lady.
Give me emotional.
Oh my
Poor
God.
lady.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm really holding back on what I want to say about people that steal a person's routine.
In a situation like that, and the FBI is involved,
You don't
and it's
get your money
obvious. You don't.
No, it's gone. No, it's gone.
Wow.
Well,
can't
I mean, you
repeat-
can't say that 100%. I mean, if the FBI is involved, the person who's known is involved, and they're able to trace back the money, there's a possibility.
Yeah, good luck.
But I agree with that.
Seizing
but-
their assets.
If it's not like an FDIC insured, whatever,
Yeah, if it's FDIC insured, you definitely
yeah,
will.
like 200, was it 250?
Up to 250.
Up to 250?
Yeah.
That's it. People who target retirees
They're the
are a special
lowlifes.
piece of garbage.
They're going,
But I feel so bad for
Straight
her,
to
and
hell.
I got to say, like, and this is data I'm like deep in lately. Is I'm looking at my old belief around stress, anxiety was like manage the stress and the anxiety, but there are groups of people that go through like incredible stress and they seem so resilient and they have strong community and oftentimes strong faith, and they do really well.
You do see the irony, right, in that it's no different than the same way we teach people to go after macros instead of cutting stuff out.
That's right.
Instead of focusing on the stress and trying to cut the stress so much, or
and getting all in it.
Right, the things that you can't change that have happened to you is go after something and
Focus
going
elsewhere.
Yeah, going after community, a spiritual practice, filling that time tends to be
She's filling time with friends and people
Yeah.
she's developing relationships with, and she might be lonely
much
right
more
now.
beneficial.
Well, yeah, we'll see when we meet back with her in 30 days. I like the idea of helping her through this whole process.
Our next caller is Casey from Colorado.
Hi, Casey.
Hello.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate your time. And I just have to say, I majored in exercise science, but I learned so much more from you guys that they never touched on in school. So
Wow, thank you
so much.
Well,
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
How can we help you?
Okay, my question is, a few weeks ago, I started to do a very mini cut. I had a baby about 1 year ago and worked my calories up to 3,000, partially thanks to breastfeeding. And with some summer trips coming up, I thought it would be a good time to try to lean out. I decided to be very conservative in my cut and only dropped to 2,700 calories. I'm 5'7", weigh about 160, and hit around 140 grams of protein each day. I've waited very patiently in my postpartum journey before attempting this, so I was super excited to see some changes. The problem is that I'm reaching the end of the day and struggling not to eat more. The food noise is leading me to throw my deficit out the window and snack on whatever I can once my son goes to bed. At that point, I feel like I'm eating more than 3,000 calories. And the desire to eat more while in a cut makes sense to me since I'm eating less than my body technically needs. So I'm just wondering how people actually do it. I've successfully cut one other time in my life, but it was not in a healthy or sustainable way. I've worked really hard to reach a place of listening to my body and not overthinking food, so I don't want to fall into bad habits again. So I'm wondering, am I doing something wrong? Am I pushing too hard in the gym? Or is it pure discipline and willpower that I just need to be better at?
Tell us a little bit about the strength training routine that you're currently doing, and then like your activity level.
Okay. So before starting this, I had just finished Muscle Mommy 15, and then I jumped into a program that was a combo of strength training and running because I wanted to get my cardio up a little bit. I've been struggling in that realm. So 3 days a week, I do strength training. I've got an upper body, a lower body, and a full body. And then I've got 2 runs each week. One is a slow run, and then one is more of like a tempo speed run.
Okay. And you feel good?
Yeah. Well, okay. So just this, maybe yesterday it happened, maybe 2 days ago. I was like, maybe this is a little too much for me. So it's like maybe on the verge, but also I have an athletic background. I played volleyball in college. So it's like I like to push the limit a little bit if I can. So it feels like kind of that perfect, maybe a little bit too much, but pretty close to feeling good.
And when you run, how do you feel? Any pain? Do you get any of the like postpartum stuff that happens with bouncing? Do you feel?
No, I did a pretty good job. I worked with a trainer to get my pelvic floor back on
job.
track. So that's all good. The only pain I have is a little bit of knee pain, but I'm working on that with some other exercises.
If you feel like it's too much, it probably is. Although your routine doesn't seem bad and your calories are good.
Don't forget we have a 1-year-old too.
Yeah, we do. And your calories are good, but you're only 1 year out. I know people are like, oh, 1 year out's good. My experience takes 2 years for women to feel like, oh, I'm back to my old self, but your calories are good. So there's 2, and I can give you some tips on how to help, but there's two things to look at here. Because again, your nutrition, your intake is good. You're hitting protein, you're working out. You could cut down a little bit on the workout if you feel like you're doing too much, but there's 2 things to look at here. One, if you're in a deficit, you are going to feel hungry. That's just normal. It's just the way it works. So anytime you're in a deficit, you're going to get a signal to eat more because you're in a deficit. Now, there are some ways to help with this. If you notice that it's at the end of the day, this is when appetite kicks up. And you said it's when your son goes to sleep. So it's probably like the day's over. This is my time to relax. And so then that's when it goes up. And so you could simply backload your calories so that you have more food available in the evening. Because that's when you relax. That's when you want to eat. And there's nothing wrong with that. And so what you would do is you take less away from earlier and eat more in the evening and see if that helps, and you keep the calories, at 2,700.
Like almost like you're having 2 dinners. You have your dinner at dinner time, baby goes down, then you have the same meal, just it's another time. The other question I'd have with a 1-year-old is how is sleep for you?
Honestly, it's great. He does a great job. I get a full 8 hours every night.
Okay, good, because that's the other time too that a lot of people have lack connecting the dots to. The days that you didn't get the best sleep are also the same days that you have those crazy cravings that end up kicking in later on.
Right.
And so that helps to know that. But if you're getting good sleep, it's probably not that. I'm with Sal. I would limit my calories earlier in the day when I'm kind of busy doing things and then leave enough room to have 2 meals late. You can eat late. There's nothing wrong with eating late if it's a good choice. And it would be it would be a dinner, and then I'd have a serving of that again. Yeah. And as long as you're hovering around that, I'd say 2,500 to 2,700 calories, since you're coming from a place of 3,000, is probably a good place to be.
Yep.
And you should lean out. You should lean out from that place.
So what you would do, because you have a lot of calories to work with, which is great, is I would take 300 calories away from the day and then make that a meal. After your sun goes down. So you have like a 300 calorie high protein meal and eat that first, because you're going to have the cravings and want to reach for the quick kind of snacky stuff. Warm it up, whatever you do, watch TV, whatever, sit down and eat that. And that should totally help.
This is also personal. This is because I'm a late night snacker, want to have this stuff while I'm relaxing at night after we put Max down. So this is where I don't know if you've heard me talk about my Greek yogurt. My Greek yogurt with Greek yogurt, a little bit of fruit and honey and granola in there is like just a great late night snack. Makes me feel like I'm kind of having a treat.
What is it, like 300 calories?
It can be. The honey and granola will bump it over. If you go lighter on that, it'll keep it under that. So you have some Greek yogurt with some blueberries in it and stuff like that. Drizzle a little bit of honey over it. Skip the granola.
But I mean, if you're strong, your height and weight is great.
Yeah.
You're doing really good, and your calories are great.
Yeah.
So you got your metabolism's working great. Your hormones are probably doing good. So a little backloading. But again, here's the other thing: like being in a deficit will almost always
you'll be hungry.
make you hungrier because you're in a deficit.
Okay, so I'm normal. Great.
Yeah, you're totally normal.
Oh yeah. No, it's definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. You're totally normal.
You're actually it's such a great sign to go from just 3,000 down to 2,700. Feel that I'm hungry. That means you've got a good metabolism.
That's right.
You have a metabolism that says we want 3,000, and you're restricting it. It's just part of it is just being able to do that. And there's strategies like we're talking about where you can kind of backload your calories. But the truth is you're doing good, and it is difficult to be consistent with that. But I always find connecting the dots to when I don't get the best sleep is also when the cravings. Just knowing that always helps me be a little bit better. The better protein type snacks like the Greek yogurt helps me, or the backloading, or skip a meal throughout the day.
Some people are better cutting their calories when they're busy, which is during the day. You might be one of those people. You're busy during the day anyway, so cutting 300 calories out of the earlier meals might not be that big of a deal, and then adding it at the end. I go to bed early, so for me it's not a problem because it's like I'm going to go to bed before I get hungry. This is if I'm going to cut. But it's just you got to kind of feel it out and kind of work with it a little bit. But your calories are great, and your body weight's great for your height. Sounds like your workouts are good. You're doing great.
Okay. So don't, at least in this time of life, don't worry too much about eating so close to bed.
No,
not at all.
Unless it messes up your digestion.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal.
But I bet you'll be fine on a healthy meal. If you're eating good whole food meals, you'll be.
If you eat like
fine.
something that messes up your digestion, it gets you bloated. Not a good idea. But before bed.
Okay, and then no issues about cutting 1 year out. You don't think I should wait longer or anything?
Not at your calories.
Because your calories are so good, you're okay.
Yeah, you're good.
If you would have came to us and said you're eating like 1,800 calories and you want to do that, we'd probably recommend it. But someone who can eat 3,000 calories and maintain where you're at is a good place.
That's right. And by the way, if you're like, I don't want to do this. I don't feel like dealing with a cut right now. You don't have to either. You can still wait.
This is true.
Like I said, your body weight, height, everything you're doing, you're good. So if you're like over it, then you don't have to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Thank you guys so much.
You got it,
Casey.
Yeah. Good job.
Thanks.
No, that's rare. We get someone like that. I mean, this many calories.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, her height, her weight, her calories are all in a great.
She's obviously fit. She's healthy.
But she did say something that I think is, and we've talked a little bit about it. I feel like on the shows lately is just. It's very normal to be hungry in a cut.
Yeah,
you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
If you're in a deficit and you're not hungry,
it's a good signal. Actually.
Usually there's something off.
Right. Yeah, if you're not hungry, that'd be.
But what a great sign to your body feel hungry at 2,700 calories. Yeah, because most people have to be way lower in order to be in a cut, and so she's in a great place.
All right, I know you liked that episode. If you did, check this one out. 30% body fat for men. This is way too high. This is actually a bit high for women as well. So in today's episode, we're talking about how you can go from 30 to 10. What is 10% body fat? This is when you have a visible six-pack. Can you go from 30 to 10%? Yes, it's possible, but not if you guess along the way. So we're going to talk about how you can do that in today's episode.
Now, there's a huge range, right, of like body types.
Yes.
Some people can run a little bit heavier or a little bit higher body.